But we're here. We're having a bad hair day. We had a NFL preseason game. That's why I'm on late. That's why I'm on late. Okay. I'm still trying to eat my dinner. I will eat on the camera though. And it's just been a really, really, really interesting Friday. And we have so much to talk about. Yeah. I'm gonna eat a hush puppy though. So if you see me crunching on a hush puppy, don't judge. Okay? But we have so much to get into. And uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. We have so much to get into. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. You want to know what's on the topics for tonight? We have a Birmingham high school coach that was pew pew, right? We're going to talk about that because you got to stop playing with people, you know? And I'm not saying this in an insensitive way, but we got to learn to stop playing with people. For real. Okay? Because the story that I have been told and that I've been seeing is like FAFO. I'm just saying. We have the NFL is about to go to trial because they was doing discrimination. Nothing that we didn't know already, kind of. We're going to get more into that with Brian Flores. And then, Michigan got their punishment today. And many people are saying that their punishment is really not punishment at all. Like they kind of saw it coming. But I can see both sides. And I'm going to tell you why. So we're going to dive into all of this and a little bit more right after this introduction. Once again, I didn't even say my name the first time, so I'm once again. Anyway, welcome back, y'all, to the Daily Dose of Des. Let's go ahead and hop right on into it. Admit it. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it loud. Got your feeling so proud. This is how we do it now. Daily Dose with Des. Voila, magic. Okay, I got to figure out where I want to start. I'm thinking that I want to dive on into Brian Flores. We're going to start there. Because why not? Why not? Brian, hey Brian. So this is Brian Flores. Some other people may know him from other teams. Now, he's going through a lawsuit with the NFL. Well, he's been suing the NFL. This is not a new thing. Okay? But they just got a ruling back saying that the NFL could be going to trial along with the 3 other teams that he sued because of racial discrimination in their hiring process. And y'all know I like to give y'all the facts, the real deal, Holyfield. So y'all can't say that I just was making it up. All right? So I got the article up here. I had somebody talk about my accent. Guys, I can't change that. Okay, I'm a Jersey girl. You know what? I feel like with this being and with me doing the Daily Dose with Des, I feel like you kind of got to get to know me a little bit. You got to get to know me a little bit. Uh-oh. Looks like I was frozen for a second. I don't know what's going on, y'all. It's Friday. I don't know. Let me take Brian down for a second. I feel like if you are going to get to know me and you're going to be watching this show, then you should probably know a little bit about the person that is doing the show, because I'm going to get new people on here. I'm going to get some of my other followers on here and whatever. But I'm Des, obviously, and I'm from Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl, like born and raised Jersey girl. And then, I just told myself that I wanted to go to college in the South. And at first I wanted to go, I'm not even gonna hold you. At first I wanted to go to Hawaii. And at that time, my mama looked at me and said, how I'm supposed to get to Hawaii if I need to get to you real quick? So I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to Hawaii. I still kind of wish that I would have went to Hawaii, but I ended up in North Carolina. I'm not saying which school in North Carolina, but I ended up in North Carolina. So ever since then, I've always had a love for the South. I then went to the U.S. Army and I was in the military. So I went to school also in the South, in Oklahoma, in Texas. And then I came back and I was in Maryland. So I understand that my accent is the accent. Okay? I'm not saying I like it. You should. But sometimes you're gonna hear the Yankee come out of me, okay? Like when I be like, you gonna give me $15, if you drinking a coffee, like you gonna hear it, okay? But that's just who I am. So I'm just giving y'all a little tidbits every show so you can get to know me a little bit more so y'all can keep coming back. Figure out who is this crazy chick talking about the sports on there. But anyway, going back to Brian Flores. So I told y'all he was suing the NFL, right? And the NFL, this is now their second loss within a rounds of going to trial. If you don't know anything about court and going to trial, it is very, very expensive. So you need to have some money, honey, if you're trying to sue somebody and go to court. Now, most people will settle out if they're being sued because it is a long and lengthy process and nobody want to keep paying the folks the money. Okay? But a federal appeals court ruled on Thursday that the NFL can be put on trial for their part in Brian Flores' racial discrimination lawsuit. There's also 3 teams that he also sued at the time. So the Denver Broncos, the Houston Texans, and the New York Giants. Now, what he's saying is, essentially, they just interviewed me, as specifically the Giants and the Broncos. They had head coaching jobs. They essentially just want to do the Rooney Rule. If you don't know what that is, that's basically where every team has to interview at least one minority to basically fill the quota, to say that you've done it. And he was like, I don't feel like they took me serious. And at the time, they needed head coaches. And he was like, they just brought me in here just to play in my face. And they thought that I wasn't going to fight back. But I'm going to fight back. So he fought back. He sued them. Look at my thing falling down. So they trying to figure out, well, what's really good? What's really going on here? He is not the head coach of New York. We all know he darn sure ain't the coach of the Denver Broncos, right? So they're just saying that it's unfair. They're also saying that the arbitration process for the NFL is also unfair and uncouth because Roger Goodell, which is the commissioner of the NFL, is currently sitting at that arbitration role, and he's not an independent party. Hold on, y'all. Let me get myself together. Okay. Boom. So they're saying Roger Goodell is not an independent party, so he should not be overseeing the arbitration rulings in all of these cases, because how is it actually going to be fair? Because we all know that there is some ownership that has better relationships with other ownership. There's some, teams that have better relationships and some players and things like that. So Roger Goodell is not an unbiased party by any means necessary. And if you think that he is, I think you need to just go ahead and take that back. Right? So basically his attorney said, like, in this whole process, that it's essentially fundamentally biased and unfair. Everything that they do in terms of the hiring and the firing and giving the interviews is like, you need to take me seriously or not. And Brian Flores was like, he did not believe that the teams treated him fair at all. And they didn't treat him as a serious candidate for these jobs. At the time, and he still is, he was one of the top coaches who should have had a head coaching job. If you look at the NFL, you look at the span of the NFL and their diversity within coaches, there are not many. Okay? So his argument is valid in a way, right? Because you're looking at it, you're like, well, how is he not a head coach of a team? How is he not, why would he not qualify for the job for New York? Why would he not qualify for the Denver Broncos job? Why would he not qualify for the Houston Texans? So, they don't give us those answers per se. And obviously he didn't get them either if he felt as though they didn't take him very seriously. So he went ahead and sued them. And something that I found that was interesting, it was that Caprani, which was the judge, ruled that the complaints against the Cardinals, Titans, and Dolphins would go to arbitration. So lots of things going on here. All right. Then later on in the article, it says the claims against the Broncos, the Giants, and the Texans, which Flores claimed retaliated against him after he sued the NFL, were allowed to be pursued in court. They're basically saying that if you retaliate against them, and this judge didn't play no games. She didn't play no games. She said, I believe you. this is what's happening. But of course, the NFL is going to fight back and they're going to give, why would you not? Right. And it says Flores, who currently serves as the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, sued the league in 2022 after he was surprisingly fired by the Miami Dolphins despite leading the team to two straight seasons with a winning record. Flores was a popular head coaching candidate following his firing, but he failed to land one of those positions after interviewing with multiple teams. Flores joined joined the Pittsburgh Steelers as the linebackers coach and defensive assistant for 2022. He was hired by the Minnesota Vikings in 2023 and helped the team improve from 28th in points allowed to 13th during his first season in the role. The Vikings took another step forward on defense in 2024, ranking 5th overall in points against. In January, he said that he would take interviews with other teams for head coaching roles. Despite his success with the Vikings, those interviews did not materialize this offseason. He's expected to reprise his role as the Vikings defensive coordinator during the 2025 football season. Thursday's rulings marks the second time this week the NFL has lost a legal battle. On Tuesday, the Nevada Supreme Court ruled former Las Vegas Raiders head coach Jon Gruden could take the league to trial over leaked emails that resulted in his resignation from the Raiders in 2021. So that's a whole different thing. And I definitely forgot to talk about that there. But the NFL has been taking loss after loss. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like if this man was a high commodity head coaching candidate, why does he feel that he was done wrong, essentially? I'm looking forward to see what comes from these trials with both Brian and John, just to see what's going to happen. I think that the NFL, it's kind of, for me, it's like a double-edged sword, because if they try to make it right by just, telling, Roger Goodell, calling somebody and say, hey, just make him a head coach, then it's kind of like, well, you're just trying to cover it up, just trying to cover your ASS, right? But if he, goes into an interview, I think for him, it's going to be very hard now because he did sue the NFL, and a lot of the owners, I feel like, are like, this is their brotherhood. This is their, So you can't just make your own rules. You can't just do what you want to do and stuff, because they have like a way of being, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's going to be hard for him to get any additional interviews. Like he just said, none of the interviews materialized from this offseason, so now he's going back to the Vikings. I feel like maybe if he was to work his way through the Vikings, but I don't see their head coach being fired anytime soon. So I don't really know how that turns out for him. It just seems that he's going to have a hard battle either way, and the expectation is going to come from suing. What is the outcome that he's actually looking for? I don't see that anywhere in the article, but it's like, what is the outcome that you're looking for? Because if it's just to get a head coaching job, I think that's going to be really tough. If he's trying to get compensated for it, I think that at some point is going to come to that. But something else also telling me that the NFL has long money and they'll continue to be in court. They've been in court since 2022. They've been in court for 3 years now. So if they've been in court this long, they don't mind staying in court. So that's the only thing that he has to worry about, is like, are you going to have the funds to keep going back to court and keep fighting this? So I think that's the thing with him, and he's going to have to like really figure that one out. But that's just my opinion. Moving on. I still have to refix my little my little man-made headband. Okay. So I added this today because I was really confused when I seen a whole bunch of TikTok videos about NFL cheer this season. Now, the NFL cheer that I'm used to seeing is always like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, how they're fantastic, how they're wonderful, but also how they deserve more, how they're being mistreated, and all those things. That's what I see mainly on the internet. But today, for some odd reason, I get on and I'm swiping, and the four first videos, NFL cheer, NFL cheer, NFL cheer, NFL cheer. So I'm thinking to myself, like, are y'all just catching on? Are y'all just catching on to what's going on? I like if I just put that. But seriously, are you just catching on? The outrage that I'm seeing right now is about the NFL adding male cheerleaders to these NFL teams. As of this season, there will be 12 teams that are coming in with at least one, but really at least two male cheerleaders on the team. The Minnesota Vikings have added two male cheerleaders to the team. I was surprised when I saw them. I think the other day when they were talking about game day, like their game day recap. And I was like, oh, they have boys now, right? But this fight was a fight maybe like 3-4 years ago, because there were teams. Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. My computer about to die. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. We can't let the thing die. We cannot let the thing die. Hey, Alex. How you doing? I think I missed our meeting too, Alex. I'm so sorry. Okay. Getting back to the business. Okay. So, the outrage is that the NFL has added male cheerleaders, and at least 12 teams will have male cheerleaders on their squads. Okay. This was an argument maybe, I want to say 3-4 years ago when this started happening, when the shift started to happen, when the then Washington Redskins cheerleaders were kind of like dismantled. They're now command force, and they have males on their team. When the Los Angeles Charger girls became non-existent, when another team, the New York Jets team, just disseminated. So this has been a little bit of outrage, and this was outrage about 3-4 years ago. So I'm surprised that I am now seeing it. And I don't know if it's because the Vikings kind of shocked people with the two males here, who are fabulous. They have the hair, the makeup, the palms, the all the things, right? And a lot of the men that are talking about these videos are saying, we just want to see girl cheerleaders. Cheerleading in NFL. This is what I'm hearing and what I'm saying. I'm just reporting the news, okay? Don't try to clip this and make it a me thing. This is literally what I'm seeing. The NFL cheerleaders should mainly be girls. This is not traditional cheer how it is in college. In college, we see the cheerleaders do mainly stunting, and we see them, being the muscle on the team, right? And you can say it's a little misogynistic, but you have to understand the NFL's main fan base are men, okay? And most of those men are straight men. And most of those men do not want to look down on the sideline and see a man with palms, glitter, makeup, flowing inches. They don't want to see that. They want to see the girls. That's what they want to see. They want to see the boys play the football and the girls do the dance and the cheer, the waving, and the prettiness. And like I said, I can understand where some of them are like, this is misogynistic, but I can also understand the other side as a cheerleader myself, right? And some of the outrage was that the Los Angeles Rams, essentially, this is what I saw. And shout out to Black and White Sports, is the first person I saw it on. So if you ever see this, hello. But they were saying that the Rams essentially added 7 males, or they'll have a record of 7 males on the team. And essentially those 7 males have replaced about 10 women. That math doesn't math up. Just saying. The math ain't mathing. But what they're basically saying is more women are being cut from these teams so that way men can join these teams, and the fans are just not having it. The fans are like, I know good and darn well you're not cutting the girls to put the boys out here. And at the end of the day, just like when they had the Bud Light commercial and they had the transgender with the Bud Light, and Bud Light took a tumble, you have to know your audience and your marketing. But it's only mind-boggling to me because, like, where were you guys at when they were fighting against this 3 years ago? Where was the noise 3 years ago? Where was the, we're not really supporting you guys anymore, we want to see a change, we're outraged, we're talking about it? Where was this 4 years ago? Because you have teams that literally crumbled. Some of them, have come back, but teams have literally crumbled. But now we're outraged. And it started with the Minnesota Vikings, or it started just because there's now 12 teams that have men on the team. I will say the Baltimore Ravens, the men on their team are like more traditional college cheer that you will see. I have never seen the boys with the Baltimore Ravens have pom poms. I have never seen the men on, I'm gonna say boys. I've never seen the men on the New Orleans Saints have pom poms. I've never seen that. But the the ones on Tampa Bay, I think they have rally flags. I think the Rams have rally flags too for the males. But the Patriots have palms. The Viking cheerleaders have palms. Um, there's 12 of the teams, guys. But what they're saying is the ones who are doing it more like traditional college cheer, they don't have a huge problem with it because they're like, this is the muscle and they're throwing the pretty girls up in the air. So again, when I say, not Twitter, TikTok was outraged today. It was outraged today over the men joining the cheer team. And a lot of the men were like, back when the guy who played Mrs. Doubtfire, who was that, chat? I don't know who that is. Let me know. Was playing Mrs. Doubtfire, and he became the first official NFL cheerleader. They were doing it for fun. It was doing it for mockery of men and dressing up as girls and things. And I think now they're just starting to realize like what is actually going on, and they don't like it. I don't know y'all, but let me know what y'all think about it. I feel like I gotta be very careful when I say this. I understand why men want to be cheerleaders because I want to be one, right? And I've been working hard for it. But I also felt that I think that the way that it was done kind of was ill intent, ill tasted, right? Because I don't feel that you have to cut the women down in order to make the men fit on the team. Why? If you're going to add them, why can't you just add them and keep the same amount of women that are on the team? Right? They talked about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are traditionally just all women. For me, I believe that they started the R&B dancers because they did have men auditioning and wanted to try it or whatever. So you see the men on the rhythm and blues dancers, but you do not see women on the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. And that's why everybody's like, that's why we love the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, because they do it right. They stick with tradition. They have the best. They are the best. And this is why they're continuing to be the best of the best, because they understand the assignment. They understand their audience. They understand the marketing of the cheerleaders. So again, let me know what y'all think about this. I'm going to move on from it because I've probably been on a monologue for 40 minutes now, but that is the thing. That was the thing that was just like blowing up all day today that I seen. Okay. We're going to move on. We're talking about Michigan. Okay. So, my thing is falling. So, Michigan got their punishment today, and it's not really a punishment to some people. They're not losing any of or let me not say losing. They do not have to vacate any of their wins. They do not have to vacate any of their preseason wins and victories and everything. They're still going to be considered the national champions when they won those. My thing is just coming off and I might just take it off. But so they do have to pay a fine. Let me see, because I did take a screenshot of it because I know, like I said, I be trying to get out a real deal only for you. All right. So Michigan is expected to have to pay a fine of $20 million or more. Sharon Moore is suspended one additional game. Then you have Jim Harbaugh has a 10-year show cause penalty. And then there's an 8-year show cause penalty for Connor Stallions. Now, what Jim gonna do with that? Jim don't care. Jim is in Los Angeles, child. He don't care. Jim is not hurt. Okay? And that's it. They don't have to vacate any wins. They don't have to, no postseason ban. There was one other thing I've seen on another tweet. I can't remember what it is, but essentially, they don't have to do anything extra. This is okay. We're gonna just take it off. I told you guys we're having a bad hair day today, but we'll just take it off because it looks super ugly and I can't keep doing it. Okay. Yeah. Sounds like the fridge is doing this thing over there. So essentially, they was like, Michigan, we got to punish y'all some type of way. So this is the only way we're going to punish y'all. This is the only way that y'all going to have to receive the punishments of what you've been going through and what you've been doing. Like, 20 million? Okay. Michigan has an alumni base that'll pay the 20 million like that. Suspending an extra game? Okay. Cool. Whatever. Now, if people don't know who this is Thomas Hemmick. He did a press conference, and I have a video. The NBA schedule. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. I just got to ask a question. Let me see. NBA schedule. I don't have a picture because that was not on my bingo card for tonight. But, I feel like the NBA schedule is never really a big thing for me because it's just a schedule. They have so many games. It's like hockey for me. There's so many. I do like that the Memphis Grizzlies have about 10 national televised games. I did see that. I really want to see, like, the Grizzlies at one point were just that team. I felt like they had so much potential. And even last season, they weren't horrible, but I just felt like they fell short a little bit. So seeing them come back, I really want to see Damian Lillard and what he's going to do. I think the Houston Rockets are going to take it up. So I think their schedule is probably the one that was probably the most exciting because it's like, oh, okay. The Houston Rockets got some good things going on. But I also know that the schedule kind of is like matriculated and formulated a little bit. Like, we think that it maybe was done last week. Like, no, this schedule has actually been done. But I'm excited to see, like, what KD does against, the teams that he's going to play, what him and Jalen Green are going to bring to the court. And I think they're going to have a lot of eyes on them. So their televised games are going to be super huge. And I think another thing that's going to be is, like, LeBron and, like, what is he going to do? Like, is this his last season? Is he, going to try to pump out 2 more seasons? Like, what exactly is he going to do? So I think, like, those schedules to me are the ones that stick out because they have players to me that stick out that I'm really wanting and looking forward to see within this upcoming season. Hope that answered your question, Alex. Okay. Back to Thomas, though. Thomas Hemmick. He was doing a press conference. He went on and on and on about basically NIL and the transfer portal. So, little backstory. I'm going to play this video. It's like 2 minutes long. Y'all can handle it, okay? The video's 2 minutes long, but you got to hear what he got to say. Now, he is basically going on and on because he lost 19 players to the transfer portal for this season coming in. And to be honest with you, if I lost 19 players too, I probably would be a little salty. I would be a little salty too. And I'm not saying he's salty for, like, a bad reason, but I'm just saying when you hear what he's saying in the video, he's not saying anything that's false. And he's not saying anything that a lot of other coaches haven't said already. But it's just one of those things like, you've lost this many players in the transfer portal, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Because if you don't change their mentality or their mindset about making money, you're not going to be able to keep them anyway. But I'll let him tell you before I tell you, and that's what we're going to do. So let's make sure. Actually, you should be able to hear it because it's on there. So I'm going to bring it up.
To me, I mean, to be honest with you, I love the challenge.
Shut up.
It don't bother me one bit because you know what? In life, you're going to make decisions, right? Sometimes it's going to work in your favor and sometimes it's not. I told our team the other day, we lost all these guys. Let's see who plays. So it's all good when people put it on Twitter, hey, all glory to God, I'm going in the transfer portal. Let's see if they play. How many of those guys going to play or travel or get snaps? I was going to tweet something the other day, a picture of me, and say, you know what? I enjoyed my college experience. I didn't get one dime, but the lessons I learned was more valuable than any money you can ever pay me. And I appreciate that because that is long term. People are losing the fact that this is short term. I coached in the National Football League for 5 years. 5 years, right? Don't lose focus of what the long term. Get your degree, learn valuable lessons that's going to help you in the long term of your life. That's the whole purpose. This is a transition from being a kid to a grown-up. And I hope people don't lose focus of that. Everybody's talking about everything else besides what is the most important thing for going to college. Because if you're going to college to go get a couple dollars, you might as well go get a job. This is too hard to go get a couple dollars. Learn the lessons that you need to learn to be successful in life for the next 40 to 50 years of your life. I would do it again for free, because of the things I learned. That's why I'm standing here today, because of what I learned in college, not because of how much somebody gave me. That's what I would tell people. And parents, they need to learn that lesson too. Stop trying to live through your kids. Go teach your kids what are the things they need to learn to be successful. That's what I'm telling my kids. I don't care about no NIL, no revenue share. I can care less. You need to learn things in college to get you prepared for life, to be a father, a husband, to work, everything else. Those are the most important things.
So, again, he's not wrong. And he's not saying anything that other coaches have not said. I can sense his frustration because he's trying to build a program. He's trying to build a successful program. And, you know, when he said, like, I coached in NFL for 5 years or what have you, you could definitely just tell, you know, he's saying the experience that I gained from my college years is what I bring into my life as a coach, his life as a husband, his life and everything that he does, right? And like I said, he lost 19 players. So that's a hard pill to swallow. It's not like you just lost 2. It's not like he just lost, 5 at max. 19, he basically lost one whole side of offense and a sprinkle on the other side. Like, you have to rebuild a whole side of the ball. So what he's saying, and like how essentially he's just saying NIL was ruining college sports, but we already knew that. That's not something that we already know. It's not something that I haven't talked about before, where it's like, this is getting a little bit out of hand. And now the transfer portal is really just this big thing where it's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You have to build a program. So what exactly are you going to do? And I think that's just the thing. You just have to figure out what that looks like. How do you move forward with doing that, and all the things in between. Hold on, y'all. Got some company. But I feel like that's his frustration with it. And I can't say that he's wrong, because he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And with that, let's see. We're going to move on. That was college football. We're going to move to this, because this Birmingham high school coach thing also kind of goes into college football. This is Demetrius Beverly. He was a high school assistant football coach in Birmingham, Alabama. Now, I may get the details a little fuzzy, because I read certain things and then I seen videos about certain things, and it's just like trying to piece it together. And the more I get, the more I bring to you. I don't know why my camera is lagging. I don't like that. But essentially, Mr. Beverly also went to UAPB, if I'm not mistaken. I did. That's when I first seen the post. I'm like, oh, who is this person? Somebody else, passed away. And I was like, darn, But then I got a little bit more deeper into the story. This is juicy, y'all. This is juicy. This is juicy, okay? It's messy. Not juicy. It's messy. It's messy. Messy as hell. So because the camera's flipped, this guy ended up getting pew-pewed because he took his hind part self and was sleeping with a woman, and the guy who got arrested, he's a 23-year-old young man, came home. That was his wife in his house. He came home and seen this man, Mr. Beverly or Coach Beverly, in the house, and he pew-pewed him because they was cheating. He came home and was in distress and just let it all hang out. Allegedly. This is what allegedly happened. I've seen multiple videos that said this is what happened. Now, I'm not saying that y'all know I don't condone violence. I don't condone violence. But you got to be more careful. You didn't know? Oh gosh, I have so many questions, and I know he's like, you shouldn't be questioning. I don't speak ill of the dead. I don't know the man. I never knew the man. I don't know. I'm just telling y'all what I see. Because everybody say, oh, he was such a beloved coach. He was doing so good for the students. He gave all these great things, and that could very well be true. Two things can be true at once. He could have been an absolutely fantastical coach, but his private life and his bedroom life got him in trouble. And now we're saying rest in peace to this young man because he was undisciplined. And being undisciplined in the bedroom leads to being undisciplined in a lot of other areas of your life. Y'all may not want to hear it from me. Maybe you want to hear it from a man or something. I'm not really sure. You can go look that up. But there's a lot of men that'll say, if you're undisciplined in your bedroom life, the rest of your life will at some point falter because you're undisciplined. And this to me just gives a little bit of undiscipline. I don't think that the 23-year-old man had to unalive him. I don't think he had to unalive him. But I also can't say that I don't understand how he might have felt coming home and seeing his wife and the coach together. And he was at home I'm not at home. He's out working, trying to take care of the bills and everything else that you got going on. And you in here fooling around in his house. Now, like I said again, this is all allegedly, but I'm saying I can understand how he was a little outraged. He went a little crazy. He snapped. I do have an article here because again, like I like to give y'all the facts. Okay? It says a 23-year-old has been charged in the fatal pew-pewing of a beloved Birmingham high school football coach. Decorian Keyshawn Robinson is charged with murder. Y'all know I can't say the word, but y'all know the record company that Ashanti used to sing on. Okay? Wednesday night, slaying, okay. Slaying 39-year-old Demetrius Darnell Beverly. Robinson is also charged with unlawful possession of a machine pew-pew. He was booked at the Jefferson County Jail at 8:47 p.m. and is being held without bond in Jefferson County Jail. They said the South Precinct officers responded shortly after 9 p.m. on Wednesday to a 911 call of a person pew-pewed at an apartment complex. The police went to the apartment and found Beverly unresponsive in the apartment's bedroom. Let me read that one more time. One more time. The police went into the apartment and found Beverly unresponsive in the apartment's bedroom, said Sergeant Laquita Wade. All right, moving on. Beverly's father said his son was visiting a female friend and was pew-pewed multiple times with a Glock switch by the woman's boyfriend. I saw it was her husband, but if it's boyfriend, it's boyfriend. Beverly was pronounced dead on the scene at 9:26 p.m. The woman was the one who called 911. Okay? I'm not reading the rest because it's a whole bunch of stuff, He was a good guy, a lot of quotes and things in here. But you heard what I said and what I read. You heard what I said and what I read. His father said that he was at a female friend's house. He was pew-pewed in the bedroom. The boy came home and saw that man in his bedroom and went to bow. He went Soldier Boy style. So y'all can't say that I'm making this up. This is what's in the report. This came from AL.com, so it's Alabama news. Stop playing with people. We got, come on. That was irresponsible. That was irresponsible. God rest his soul. He didn't deserve to die. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, part of me feels remorse for the 23-year-old that came home and found them in the bedroom. Because if that's your friend, you should not be in her bedroom. What are y'all doing in the bedroom? If y'all quote unquote friends or whatever, what are you doing in the bedroom? And then you know that the man gonna come home. I feel like if you know that your man is crazy like that, why would you even put yourself and him and the other person in that type of situation? The woman is to blame here too. We gotta hold it accountable. We gotta hold everybody accountable for their actions. The woman is to blame too because she took the man into their apartment that they shared together and was doing the rendezvous. She should have went over there to his place. It ain't no way that you, no, it ain't no way. And I don't, y'all may not like what I gotta say, but I'm just saying it. Everybody needs to be held accountable. Like I said, I don't think that he should have lost his life due to this, but y'all have to stop playing around with people. People are not stable in the brains, okay? They don't have the brain cells sometimes to be thinking about what they doing. They just act, okay? Because just like when Soulja Boy was like, pow, 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 all that, that's what this young man was doing. You gotta stop playing with people. God rest his soul, R.I.P., but this is messy. This is messy. Down there in Birmingham. Child, messy. Anywho, before I get to another video, we're going to talk about the WNBA. Actually, there was two things I want to talk about the WNBA, but I forgot to download the other video. So we're just going to talk about this. So as you guys know, I reported previously that the WNBA players are in negotiations and talking about their salaries. They want to. You seen the shirts? Pay us what you owe us. Now I'm not saying that they necessarily owe them. This is gonna sound. Y'all may hate when I say this, but for a long time the league was losing money. They weren't actually making money. Even last year they were losing money. So I don't think that the players are necessarily owed anything from here and previous. I think that they need to go moving forward with what they're owed for future, if that makes sense. I feel like moving forward, if you're going to negotiate your price and you're going to negotiate what you want, then you're going to get paid moving forward. I don't think that getting back pay is going to be the answer. So I just want to say that. And it's also really hard to say, well, you should pay these women, well, you should pay the women in the league more if the league is not actually making more, if they're losing money. If the numbers are saying that you are losing money, it's not smart for the league to pay you more when they're not even making more. That's not me saying that they should not get paid more. That's not me saying that what they get now is worth it. That's not what I'm saying. However, the league has to be profitable so that way they're not in the negative trillions trying to pay everybody, which is also why the league is small. But again, you see the league is trying to expand, they're trying to do different things. Whoop, 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 shadoo. Okay. So as of literally, I think yesterday, day before, this week, we're going to talk about this week. As of this week, there's been statements saying that the WNBA, or the players in the WNBA, or WNB, let's start over. Too many WNBBBB. The WNBPA, which is the Players Association, has been noted to essentially decline and opt out of the making more money. And y'all know I like to, again, we're gonna get into it. So essentially what they were going to be making, well, compared to what they were making now, was going to bring their salaries up to, I think the minimum was maybe $1 million. And they essentially was like, no, we're not taking that. So this is from the Shadow League, right? So it says here, making $1 million salaries in a league losing money, ? That's the article title. They chose violence. I didn't choose the violence. They chose the violence. I'm just reading the violence. Okay. Now, it says WNBPA reportedly rejects, the players are saying it's a slap in the face deal that would quadruple their salaries. It will boost the max to $1 million. Okay? When WNBA players enter their collective bargaining negotiations with a list of demands they will not back down from. They say, we know what we're worth, we know what we want, give it to us all, or we're going on strike for 2026. Can the league afford to go on strike for 2026? Probably not. Can they even afford to go on strike for 2026? Probably not. I'm talking about the players. We're just being honest. Y'all know I like to give y'all the real deal Holyfield over here. I don't like to sugarcoat too much. All right? Moving on in the article, it says, they wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts, sending a strong message to the league during All-Star Week. However, many found it laughable, considering that the league has been operating from millions of losses. But they won't open the books for anyone to understand exactly how the money is flowing. And now they're saying the money is really flowing in and it starts flowing in due to Caitlin Clark. Again, I'm just reading y'all the article, right? With the average salary being $147K for 44 games of work. So they're constantly saying, we're looking for significant increases. We need more money. We need better TV. We need, I remember the thing with the buses, the charter planes. We need chartered planes. We're not getting on a regular plane. We're not getting on a bus. We need a whole bunch of things. I'm not saying they can't have those demands, but I'm just saying when it's negotiating, I don't think negotiations work like, this is what I want. You give me this and this only. When you negotiate, you go back and forth and you find a common ground for you all to come on and agree to. Again, there's no specific numbers that have been put out, right? All that we know is that, we know the ratings for the attendance, we know the merchandise, we know the visibility on social media, all of that has gone up. Again, they're saying since Caitlin Clark has joined the league, everything has been going up. Whether you believe that or not, that's on you for you to believe. If you believe that, put it in the comments. If you don't believe that, hell, put that in the comments too. Okay? Now, it says, the league has given $2 billion over 11 years the league has been given $2 billion over the past 11 years by the NBA. So the NBA has been helping to supplement their income, has been helping them keep it up off balance, has been, there to really like put them on their shoulders because that is their league, right? Now, it says that I lost my spot. Okay, it says that $200 million per season is the pot from which the WNBA players want to get paid, and they don't want to take the baby steps anymore. They're like, we don't need no baby steps. You give us our money now. And it says because they feel like with the increased ratings, attendance, and merchandise, that they believe a bigger slice of the revenue. I'm not saying that's wrong, right? Now I'm trying to figure out. Let me go back. The players receive 9.3% share of the league's income. Apparently for the NBA, it's close to 50% of the revenue sharing. It's actually 51% per year. So they're like, they get 51% and we get 9. How do we get 9? Well, it's probably because they ain't really been making no money like that for real. Okay? The NBA has been trying to give y'all some money and keep y'all afloat. So they really can't give you 50% of what they're earning if they're really not earning enough to give you 50%. That's how it works, y'all. There are specific numbers here about what they will get. Okay, they said that what they opted out and said no to. It says it will quadruple their minimum salary from $66K to $250K for most of them. So they said no. We don't want to go up in revenue. That's not what we want. This offer is a slap in the face. Slap in the face. $250K is a slap in the face. No. You got to bring it up. You got to do more. Sorry. Right? Twitter was going crazy. WNBA players turned down a deal that would quadruple their pay. The minimum pay is $66K and it will raise it up to $250K. The maximum $250K to $1 million. So if you were already making the maximum like Caitlin Clark, then she would make $1 million. And they said, no, it's a slap in the face. Do y'all think that is right? Do you think that that's enough? Do you think that number is strong enough? Do you think that they should get more money than that? Do you think that they deserve 50% of whatever revenue the WNBA is bringing in? Do you think that? I am really curious to know what you all think about this. Let me know. Are they crazy for turning down this offer? Do they keep fighting for it? Or do you think that they should ask for, how much do you think they should ask for? Talk to me. I need to know. I need to know. I understand this is the first offer, so it was like, nah. But my only fear is that the next offer is not going to be as much. That's what I feel. I feel like their next offer is not going to be that much. Yeah. Okay. Last topic of the day, right? Let me make sure. Last topic of the day. NFL, Michigan. Oh, yes. This is the last topic of the evening, so I can go ahead and get up out of here. I've been talking for a lot, y'all. This episode was not supposed to be that long. All right. Y'all, I had to talk about this because y'all will not say I'm a hypocrite. Y'all will not say I'm a hypocrite, right? SHA'CARRI. No, it's SHA'CARRI. Okay. Y'all know I don't like domestic violence, period. I don't believe that a man should be knocking up a woman, knocking her over, slapping her, putting her head between the washer and the dryer. And I feel the same way when it comes to women as well. SHA'CARRI was she was in the airport and she was hitting her boyfriend. Pushed him into the pole, hit him. He tried to walk away. She was following him, wouldn't let him go, and it turned into a big thing. A lot of people on the internet are saying that he called the police on her, which he did not. He didn't even really want to cooperate with the police when they got there. But they're in an airport. So first things first, you cannot just do that in an airport. That's first things first. Second, the TSA and the people, they saw and they called the police on her. And her actions were just disgusting and super disturbing and totally unacceptable. I understand that she's not apologized, but keep the apology because you meant it, especially in this video, right? So I'm going to show y'all this video. It is about 3 minutes long, but it's the whole video from the police body cam. So see the video for yourself, and then we'll go ahead and discuss more. All right, so.
Is there anything I need to report?
Who was talking to you? Was there someone talking to you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Babe.
Did you talk to her? She's been drinking?
So this is the position that Christian Coleman puts me into, okay? Because he's a coward, and I don't want anything to do with him at this point going forward. My name is SHA'CARRI Richardson. Have no problem with letting you know who I am. Haven't put my hands on him. We had an argument. I will be honest about that. Okay. An argument, and that's pretty much it.
I just want to get your side.
Okay, so absolutely. You can ask him whatever you need to ask him. But yeah, you're a coward.
Is it SHA'CARRI?
SHA'CARRI.
SHA'CARRI.
Thank you so much, SHA'CARRI.
Hey, SHA'CARRI.
And I'm going to do my part so you can do your best, document everything. I would never. I'm under arrest right now? What am I under arrest for? Christian, are you serious right now? Okay. I didn't assault him though.
We have video cameras.
I literally we were having an argument. I'm not resisting, so you don't have to do it harder. Christian, are you serious right now? Christian.
State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand. We were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay, I'm not gonna resist. But I'm telling you that we was arguing. I didn't assault him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that your guys are doing this to me and he's the man in this situation, I'm gonna comply. Christian, are you serious right now?
Alright.
Christian, I'm about to go to jail because of you right now. You know what? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I will never you again. Ever.
You gotta go this way.
Okay. Can we please, hold these, protect the shoulders or something? This is completely unfamiliar. Can I at least pay for bail? I cannot bail out? Can I at least take the clothes off in the back seat, please? I'm not gonna resist y'all.
Is your name Miss Richardson?
My name is SHA'CARRI
Okay.
Richardson.
Do you have any weapons on you?
No,
You're being audio and video
I don't have
recorded right now.
anything. You can take my hat off. I don't have anything on me.
So I'm just gonna be your transport vehicle.
Can you please take these off?
Unfortunately, not, ma'am.
I'm
At this
not
point,
a
you're under
criminal.
arrest.
Yes, y'all can
I'm
say
not a
it.
criminal. I had an argument with my boyfriend.
Take a seat in the car, please.
You know what? I'm not resisting y'all. I was in the car. This is crazy. Y'all not even listening to me. I do. You want me to take it off?
TMZ's video. You can go on to TMZ to see it, find it, all those things. Now, the lack of accountability in that video is just absolutely crazy to me. And the fact that I've seen so many women that are on her side is also very disgusting, because if the roles were reversed and he was the one who was in fact hitting her and calling her out her name and basically gaslighting her, trying to get the police to lock her up when she was the victim, the internet would be outraged. It would be outraged. But the fact that this female was hitting him, everybody's like, oh, he must have did something, and she had every... No, she did not have no right to put her hands on him. No, it don't matter what the heck he did or what he said. In the video, you can clearly see he was trying... I mean, I see all, you don't see it in like this one here, but there's another video where he's clearly trying to walk away from the situation. She's pushing him and tugging and all the things that you cannot do. And no matter what you do, you're going to get arrested if you're doing this at the airport. Period. And the fact of the matter that she tried to play like she was the victim and tried to spin it on him and saying, you're doing this to me when he's the man in the situation. If there was no camera, if there was no eyewitnesses, he probably would have got locked up. And she was okay with him getting locked up. She was okay with him being the one that was going to be in trouble, because you see what she said. How are you doing this to me? Kept calling him a coward, kept calling him all these things out of his name. That is not okay. What's also not okay is Nike is still promoting her ad for the shoe. That's not okay, because you cannot say we don't support domestic violence. We cannot say, you know, domestic disputes or whatever, like we're not for it. But when it happens and it's a female doing it to a male, it's like, oh, we don't see it. That's not cool. That's not cool, and that is not okay. And this is really, really disturbing, and it's disgusting at the end of the day. Because like I said, had there not been eyewitnesses and had there not been video footage of her putting her hands on him and the way that she said it to the police and played and cried victim, she really believed that she didn't do nothing wrong. She really believed that he should have been the one going to jail. She believed that he is the one who did something to her. And if she's doing this in public, can you imagine what she does in private? This is not okay. It's not okay. The actions will never be okay with me. Just not. And this is not being, you know, because some women are like, oh, if you're on his side, then you're like a pick me or whatever. Like, no, actually don't pick me if you're going to give me that. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to hold women accountable for their actions when they do things wrong. Because if we want to hold men accountable, if we want to hold their feet to the fire every time they do something that they're not supposed to be doing, or every time they knock a woman's head between the washer and the dryer, we have to do the same thing when it comes to women. The lack of accountability is sickening, and it's disturbing, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We have to do better. We have to do better. Unacceptable. So I wanted to wait until I seen more of the video, even though I seen all I needed to see the first time when I seen her pushing and shoving him and doing all this stuff in the airport. But I wanted to see if the body cam footage would come out to see like how she went about it. And she didn't take accountability. Besides, she was like, we were just arguing. We were just arguing. I didn't do anything to him. That's not accountability. That's not enough. That's not enough, because you try to knock that boy head between the two poles, and if she could have flew his head on that airplane, she probably would have. And then the fact that she wanted him to get arrested besides her because she was the girl in the situation, no, keep women like that away from me. I hope he gets himself together and he leaves her, but hey, y'all can't say that men don't be getting abused in relationships too, because we literally just saw it. So, no, I'm not a fan. No, I'm not supporting that behavior. No, I don't care about the apology, because I feel like watching that video with her saying that, she's not really apologizing because she actually mean it. She's apologizing because she has to. There's a difference. So I think a lot of y'all are missing the plot when it comes to this. And y'all need to take off the blinders and stop moving the goalposts every time it's somebody that you like or somebody that you support. Because I guarantee if it's somebody that y'all didn't like if Clarissa Shields would be seen punching up Papoose, because y'all don't like Clarissa, y'all would have been like, oh, lock her up, lock her up. Keep the same energy for the same people. It don't matter if you like them or not. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's just my opinion. And I said what I said. Boom. So now we are done. We are officially done. I've been on here way too long. I've been talking way too much. We need to go ahead and get on up out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those who were here, those who commented and just was with me for the show, I really do appreciate it. All the support. Make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell notification. I'm gonna try to stop getting on here at 11 p.m. I promise. I'm gonna try to make 9 the latest, but I'm not perfect, so we're gonna work on it. Okay, but. If you like this content, you like any of my content, make sure you're liking, sharing, and subscribing on social media platforms at PT Love Sports. You can type it in at Pretty Girls Love Sports, and I'm right there. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.